All right. So I'm super excited for this podcast conversation. We have the CEO and founder of ChainMyne, a crypto platform focused on financial access for underserved communities. Welcome to the podcast, Kimberly. How are you doing today?
Very good. Nice talking to you
Yeah,
today. Such a
absolutely.
pleasure to meet you.
I know it's crazy because we've been wanting to set this up for a while now. Your team reached out, and initially you were open to going to Dallas.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I'm in Costa Rica. There's this event. And I was like, I'll come out to you.
Yeah, that's amazing that you guys ended up in the jungle.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm definitely excited about this conversation. Before we get into your story, though, I do have one question. I want to get right into it and add some value to the audience. What's one shift, one mindset shift you think Latinas need to have to build wealth in this digital era?
Um, Definitely look for trusted sources.
Mm,
Learn I think people like yourself that are, throwing the message out there and spreading the word and kind of connecting these communities together. So trust your community, empower yourself through knowledge.
mm.
I think this
Yeah,
is
that's
this is
good. That's good. That's very important. They could hear us.
I think so,
That's
yes.
cool. No, that's very important. In your slide in your presentation, what you had is trust is the true currency,
Correct.
which is super important, especially for Latinos. And
Yeah.
we're getting into a lot of us are getting into a space that we've never been in before. Trust is super important.
Yeah, absolutely. Trust is really important. Trusting in yourself, trust in your community, and of course, the people that are within the financial industry. The decisions they take, the platforms they use, the people they support, also sends a message
Mm,
to our people of what direction to go to. So
yeah.
it's a powerful thing that we can do together.
Yeah, absolutely. And so before you started your company, you were in traditional banking. Talk to us about your story, your background, how you got into traditional banking, and then what did you see that made you shift from being in traditional banking into owning your own company?
So I came from the traditional world of retail banking. So I work with customers on a daily basis, credit card transactions, banking transactions. I moved up in the retail space and started disliking the unhuman side of traditional banking,
Mm,
right? It's all about pushing numbers, pushing sales, getting commissions, and there's nothing really that supports the needs of the people, and especially because they're very rigid with certain communities, right? So there's a lot of people that are unbanked. They don't give them flexibility to find solutions that are more tailored, for them, for their needs. And so I got into the payment space. I discovered crypto. I saw this huge opportunity and I decided to just leave it all behind. Honestly, it was a really scary thing. Okay. So it was really jumping off the cliff and kind of building my wings on the way down and hoping I was not going to crash before my legs were ready. But it was really empowering to be able to experience, all these opportunities, and then having the possibility of meeting other people that are, knowledgeable in specific, parts of the digital asset space. And then over the years, seeing how it has evolved and come together and built solutions. I was talking to you about Sandy Martinez that
yeah.
works in Web3, and seeing, the amazing Web3 projects she works on, and what the blockchain industry can do. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And so what's interesting and fascinating for me to know about your story is you're also a mother, you're a mother of four.
correct.
How has motherhood influenced you as a leader and really influenced your mission in this space?
Well, even more so because I need to think of what financial world my kids are going to be part of, correct? So are they going to be excluded because, of their ethnicity, of their knowledge level? Do I have to focus on educating them more in certain spaces? So I think there's a lot of question marks, right? We need to think about the legacy we leave to our children. This is again one of the reasons why I think pushing women into the blockchain industry is super important, because we bring a different perspective to the table, that the white collar man may not understand or think, right? So we think about our communities, we think about our children, we think about our families, and that perspective is super important in the decision making in the
I love
blockchain
that. I
space.
love that. So let's shift into ChainMyne. When did you start the company? Why did you start it? And what was your vision for it?
So initially, I started ChainMyne, really not understanding the full aspect of how digital assets, merges into the traditional banking space. So initially, I piggybacked my technology, my banking rails, everything of another platform. And it was really successful because I got a lot of traction from my network where they were like, oh my God, you're, again, there was trust that I had built over the years. So they knew my face, they knew it was me behind the scenes. And so initially it was more of like a test, an adventure. We'll see how this goes. It was really successful during a period that was really rough, which is in 2020. So it's officially 5 years. We're up to date.
Why was it rough?
Well, I think it was a difficult moment for a lot of people shifting into staying at home, finding, digital solutions to communicate, right? So everybody's like work from home, using Zooms, and I think there was a huge shift in 2020, right? So digital solutions just became something different, something people wanted to learn more about, a different access to wealth, a different access to an opportunity to build a future. And so I think we came at it was a really good moment for us, even though it was a really difficult moment for the world. And then 2 years ago, we decided to build our own technology. And now we're really into a bigger OTC space. It's given me the opportunity to grow my personal brand and education and accessibility for everyone. And that's where we're at now.
No, I love that. And so I'm curious, when you have that idea, what's the first step to even execute on that idea? Do you need to get partners in? Do you need to get funding? Like, what were the steps you took to even start this idea?
So trust in your community. So trust in the people that you know, right? So open yourself to learning. So that was my situation at that point. I had to ask questions, right? I cannot, I didn't expect for myself to be able to dive into this world knowing everything from start to end. And I think at that time, everybody that was in the industry was specialized in their own little field until everybody started coming together. So really, it was through the help of partners, people that I knew, people that guided me, and keeping an open mind into learning myself in order to, become the bigger brand that we are today.
And what's one thing you learn about yourself in this whole process?
Oh my God, resilience. There's a lot of times, I hear a lot of Cody Sanchez saying, when you think everything is over and that's it, there's no solution, you just got to keep going, right? So I think resilience, persistence, not giving up, even when you think like, that's it, it's over, there's no more solution, just keep knocking on every single door until one opens. So this has definitely been a resilience test for me.
Could you tell us about a time where you felt like there was no more solutions? You were like, this is it. We
Well,
got to go back to traditional banking.
yeah.
Tell us about a time and how did you overcome that?
Um, Listen, I think there's many times where we fall into that situation. I don't think that I'm not against traditional banking. I think we need to be able to coexist with traditional banking. Running a business as a single mother is already difficult enough, right? Because you have to balance your lifestyle and in a world where you need to only make one choice usually. Um, there's been many different instances, whether it was financial difficulties, whether it was, finding the right people to help you with your team, losing a team member. There's many things that can come, many challenges, and I think just overcoming it. I don't think there's a solution to overcoming. I think it's just keep going, even if it's just taking one step every day. Every day's a new day. If you can do 10 steps today, good. If you can do one tomorrow, good. If you need to take a step back, good. It's fine. But I think it's not a solution, but it's definitely the way to go for any challenge that you want to overcome.
Yeah, I like that. How did you know you were on the right path? Like, the reason why I asked that question is because a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't know when to pivot or they don't know when to just quit altogether. And
Yeah.
quitting is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
But how did you know to continue to be persistent with this idea and this dream that you had?
Well, my life depends on it, right? My children depend on it. I have a motivation for sure. Um, Giving up is sometimes is an option. Sometimes we have to let go of certain things, right? We have to, but I think giving up after you've given it your all is better than just giving up and not have tried at all.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so for the people that are going to listen to this episode, if you can explain ChainMyne to them in a simple way, what would you say to them?
ChainMyne is your bridge of trust from traditional bank to the digital asset space. Whether you're a beginner, you're tech savvy, you're just starting in this world, we're here to, find a tailored solution for you, educate you through the process, whether it's starting to utilize a wallet or, finding a way to move your money from, one country to the other because of an investment. We are here to help you and walk you through all the processes, tax efficiency, corporate structuring, and everything.
I love that. And speaking about multiple countries, your office is in Montreal,
Correct.
but you moved to Costa Rica, right?
Yes.
What about Costa Rica made you want to move out here? And what do you see in the potential of the country?
Well, my Latin American roots definitely brought me back to Costa Rica, being Costa Rican myself. I think I saw an opportunity in Costa Rica when I saw, the vast amount of communities that are underserved, where there's opportunity for us to bring blockchain, Web3 projects, and digital assets, educate them, and find products that are more inclusive for them and tailored to them. My OTC is continues to be regulated in Canada and the US. I think we bring value in taking that blueprint of regulation into a Latin American country and becoming an example to other Latin American countries that want to embark. Salvador being one of the, very like taking these big decisions now and really making a mark in history. And I hope that we can educate regulators, bankers, and communities into the digital aspect world and, bring inclusivity to everyone.
And I'd love to know about the community out here. Like this, we're at this event. This is fascinating for me to be at because you don't see this in America at all,
Yeah.
right? And there's so many people coming together for multiple reasons. Talk to us about the community specifically in Costa Rica and even in the surrounding countries
Yeah.
on how everybody's getting on board with wanting to build wealth, wanting to get into blockchain, wanting to get into AI and whatnot. Like it's really inspiring for me to see. Talk to us a little bit about that.
It's actually really inspiring. I'm actually myself very impressed to see the amount of people here. I think everybody brings, their proper knowledge into the table. It's nice to educate yourself into the different aspects, the different projects that everybody is working on, because this is really the only way that we can bring our communities together and find solutions through networking and we make friends as well, right? And we never know when we have to reconnect again for whatever reason. So this is really wonderful, and in such a pura vida country, even better.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with you, I know it's only been day one and you've been here for a couple hours. What are some of the things that you're learning at Blockchain Jungle from talking to people or just being observing? Like what are you seeing? What are some conversations you're hearing?
What's really interesting is to meet people from other jurisdictions. So I've met people from Panama, I've met people from Colombia. Well, you're here from the United States. So it's really great to see that, everybody from around the world and from, neighbor countries are coming to support each other and bringing in their expertise onto, Costa Rican, technologies and then vice versa, right? Because we have the opportunity to then meet people where that we can accompany in their jurisdiction. So I think this networking is phenomenal, and knowing that in Costa Rica we have people from around the world visiting us, it's really
Yeah, all over the world. And so I'm gonna say when ChainMyne succeeds in Costa Rica,
yes.
what does that look like in other parts of Latin America?
I think if we are able to succeed in Costa Rica, and we will succeed in Costa Rica, we want to be able to set that blueprint and inspire other regulators and other communities in these other countries to kind of follow and see it as an example, as that proof of concept. Hey, it can be done here in a highly regulated environments such as Costa Rica. We can do it throughout South America and help the communities locally there as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you can leave one message for the people out there listening, what would you say to them? Maybe there's a Latina mother out there that's trying to build wealth, that wants to start that journey. What would you say to that individual out there?
Reach out for help, reach out to people, communicate. For the people that are out there building solutions, build it from from inclusion as really the base. Build it from the need of people. Understand that everybody needs to be included into this space. And so when we put inclusion into all the projects that we have a community that learns, we have a community that adopts, and we have a community that helps.
I love that. And let the people know where they can reach out to you, where they can find you, and find more information about ChainMyne as well.
Well, I'm really into social media. So Instagram is my favorite platform where you can reach me on LinkedIn, Kimberly Rosales, CEO. My company is ChainMyne. And feel free to reach out by DM. Sometimes we think public, speakers or figures don't answer. I answer my DMs.
Yeah.
So go ahead and text me and send a shout out.
I have to give a shout out to Krista as well, because she's the one
Mr. Robinson, she's a
set
PR
all this up.
superstar. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's in California, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
But you see, that's great. We're connecting with a woman in another jurisdiction, and how she's been able to help me and support me throughout my journey is
100%.
yeah.
Cool. Well, this is Latin Wealth podcast. You guys will know where to find us on all platforms at Latin Wealth. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Pura vida.